Hey guys, good morning. This is Chad here again with another Breakfast with the Banner this week. And this morning, we've got a really special guest with us here this morning. And I'm sure you guys know Mr. Al Brunelle and probably see him around town quite a bit. Him and his wife, of course, they're very active in the Rotary Club. And but besides the Rotary Club, I know, Al, we were talking before, you and your wife are very active in the community, and
Yes, sir.
but besides that, I know you have a very rich background, and of course, former military,
Yes, sir.
and of course, not originally from this area,
No, I'm a transplant.
transplant,
I'm a
but
transplant,
you're
but I sure wish I was.
you're a full Princetonian now, though, because
Absolutely.
I know because you and your wife do quite the bit for our community. Quite a bit, and I know Rotary aside, I know with what our main topic here today is with, of course, the flags.
Yes,
I
sir.
know you are very active in. Well, why don't you just explain it so I don't trip over my words here, because I know it's very interesting what Mr. Brunelle does. Of course, he takes old flags and he'll repurpose the stars, and I know this is a very time-consuming. It's got to be very time-consuming to do this.
It is. It is. What I do is I create packets, and the packets are a reminder. The packets are a reminder to each veteran, each first responder, each individual that's given one, that they're not forgotten. The program's called Stars for Our Troops. That's how it started out initially. Initially, it was the stars were presented to individuals who fly to Washington D.C. and visit the monuments. It kind of expanded from there to troops that are serving currently, and veterans, and then finally first responders and individuals who really mean a lot to the community.
Right.
Have done a lot for the community. Each star, the flags themselves, and I am, when I look at a flag, I look at a flag and look whether or not it's worn, it's tattered. If it's tattered, I usually go up to somebody and say, "You're dishonoring us
Right.
by not taking care of the flag. If you would take it down and go ahead and put a new one up." That flag itself should be destroyed, and instead of destroying it, I take the canton of the flag, which is the field of blue, and I cut each star out, and I attach a little note that's on the back. It basically says, I'm an American flag, and that the sun is taking its toll. The sun and weather is taking its toll. But it's a reminder, and that reminder is that this is something that we fought for. Not only do we fight for it, but it means a lot to us. It reminds us of that, but it also reminds us there's always somebody covering our back. Always somebody covering our back. We're losing 22 guys a day.
Yeah.
22 guys a day to suicide. 22 troops, 22 veterans, whether it be PTSD or other mental issue or what have you. It's a big transition, and this here reminds them that there's somebody there to reach out. It's necessary.
And that they're
They're never going to be forgotten.
never going to be forgotten, and I think that's so many people are too just used to going to, I guess, and in right, they should go to the store and buy a new flag or wherever, but it can be repurposed.
You can get flags given to you.
Right.
All you have to do is ask.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And to have a flag tattered, it's just It's almost a slap in the face.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Now I've given over a little over 5,000 stars.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when did you start this? When was this?
I started it actually I think when I first got here.
Did you? And you and Pam moved here
Back in 16.
back in
2016.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016 rather. Yeah. That's when we bought the house on
Washington Street.
Washington Street. Yes. But saw the project, and its roots come from New York. It's about 20 years old now. I can't tell you the exact time it started or who started it.
Right.
I don't think anybody would want to take credit. I do know that it is a non-profit. You can go up on the web and look up Stars for Our Troops, and go that route. I'm associated, but not associated.
Right.
In so much as I make these up from my heart, and the Stars for Our Troops is more of a we need the numbers type to promote ourselves.
Right.
And that's not what it's all about.
And and I think this is something like this is very time consuming, and it's. I know there's probably some people that look on it as being an inconvenience, I've got to, this is my time, but this is what you do with your time, and it's not an inconvenience because this is not only are you giving back, you're remembering our fallen troops, our country, which you fought for. And what branch of the military were you?
Air Force. I was in explosive ordnance disposal,
and
bomb disposal for 10 years.
How long did you serve? 10 years.
Yes.
And where did you serve at? Where were you stationed?
A lot of different places.
A lot of different places.
A lot of different places.
And so I know that this means a lot to you. And for someone like me, of course, I've never served in the military, but it is something that I know the companies that I support financially, I try to make sure that they're either veteran-owned or support our veterans. And to know what you're doing here.
Well, what's more important is that we get the word out that there's somebody there to talk to.
Right.
Somebody there to talk to. And, yeah, it is time-consuming, but, flags are going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
They're going to be put to rest. And I get my flags primarily from the courthouse. And when the VFW is open, there's also a drop box there.
Right.
I basically work with the 3x5 and 4x6 flags, and that are no longer usable, that are decommissioned.
Right.
I cut the cantons out. I fold the flag up respectfully, and then replace it into the burn pit or burn container, so they can be destroyed correctly.
Right.
Or the remaining could be destroyed correctly. I then cut the stars out and present them.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had a Veterans Day at the middle school, and I had some help that year. Every veteran that came in not only got a packet, but got a flag.
Yeah.
Got a pin, a lapel pin. But we gave away quite a few that year.
Is that right?
And I really appreciated the help that I got. I needed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, this is an awesome for kids to see this nowadays, because I know from the world that I grew up in is a totally different atmosphere. Of course, I'm 44. It's not the same world. Not the same world it was that you grew up in, and that we're all growing. I mean, because we never stop growing. But to teach our kids what America was founded on, what it was built on, the respect that America deserves, the freedom that not only you fought for, but countless others that are losing their lives daily, and this is just a part where we can remember.
That's right. It is. It is a part that we can remember. I mean, I've got a friend, H.C. Beck,
Mm-hmm.
Marine. He's 95 years old, and I tell you, he's the epitome of a veteran.
Right.
You know, when I grow up, I want to be like him. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But very tenacious about America.
Yeah.
You know, a very strong American, and it loves to do things for people.
Right. Right.
But the military is something we don't really think about.
Yeah.
But as an individual who's been in the military, the armed forces, we get pulled away from the family.
Yeah.
By choice, and placed in situations that we wouldn't want to be normally in. You know. But it's important to take and recognize.
You know, and that's something that of course we were talking before. You were talking about your faith and where God places you and places you in certain situations. And I truly believe with our military, I believe God picks each person individually to serve in the military, and not everybody's called to serve in the military.
That's true.
And it takes, just like it takes a special kind of person to be a doctor or a nurse or a school teacher, it takes a special kind of person to serve in the military. And you know, God has placed with each individual that he calls to serve in the military, given them something special to go forth and serve that only He's given that individual. And I know, for me, I thank you greatly for your service, and I know with each star that it represents, you know, one of your fallen soldiers that was beside you and that fought beside you in the war or in wars and countless situations that you were in, and not only ones who have lost their lives, but those who have that are veterans that are, you know, suffering from PTSD. And of course I know it's great PTSD, especially in the times that we're living in now, is something that's
PTSD goes by a lot of different names.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, World War II was combat fatigue,
right.
You know, shell shock, you know, a lot of names that really didn't apply.
Right.
But it was an explanation of why this individual was acting the way he was.
Right.
Shut this off. Technology nowadays. You know.
I know. There. Yeah.
You know, PTSD. The military can take a toll on an individual, and does take a toll on an individual. And the Lord provides that coping mechanism. Sometimes we forget to reach out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people, when whatever they're suffering with, they may feel ashamed to reach out, that they're not being strong. But I think it takes strength to reach out.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That hit the nail on the head. You know? Just because there's something wrong or there's an issue, you don't have to be ashamed of that.
No. And that doesn't mean you're weak.
That's
know,
right.
It's showing strength. It's saying, I need help. So
that's the strength right there.
Yeah, that is the strength. And I think we've all been there, regardless of what it is. We've all been there. And
if you don't admit to it,
right. And that's when pride rears its ugly head. So, but okay, let's switch gears here. And I know we were talking before with you and your wife Pam are very active in the Rotary Club.
Yes, we are.
And of course, before we started the video, I know you asked if you should remove your hat, and I said no, don't. I said, because that's what I know Mr. Brunelle from. I said he's always got one of his hats on, and that's what I know. Recognizing when, of course, he's kind of hard to recognize when he doesn't have the hat on, and so Well, that's the way my face looks because my beard was down to here, and
That's right.
I shaved my beard off. So maybe I need to, I don't know, mask up. I don't know. I feel like I'm without something covering my face. I kind of feel like I'm should have a bag over my head or something. But
this here allows people to recognize me,
right,
and I mean, a lot of people know Pam, my wife, because she's a longtime resident. You know,
right.
I mean, she was born and raised here. Her grandmother on the Wilson side catered and made cakes for just about everybody in town, and the Cartwright side were Masons,
Yeah,
and they did a lot of work. Everybody knew the family,
right.
you know, and because of that, everybody knows her.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though she left for 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
it was like stepping
Right back.
a moment back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people come up on the street and say, "How you doing, Al?" and okay,
Yeah.
don't be surprised. I may recognize the face. I don't know the
Right.
name.
Well, that's the way. And we were, like I said, we were talking before, and I know, of course, with my wife Casey, and I think that's how everybody knows me because I'm the introverted person that just stays at home, goes to work and home and church, and that's the way I do. And it's not that I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just quiet. I just kind of speak when I'm spoken to. But when we're out and about, that's usually the way it is. Well, you're Casey's husband, and but there's no other person I'd rather be associated with. And of course, I know my wife Casey. She served in Rotary for
Yes, she
for a
did.
while. Her office was here in Princeton, and I know it was. I always got to come to some of the Christmas dinners and
Yes.
some of the meetings, and it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I know the Rotary does quite a bit for our community.
Rotary is an unsung hero, and that's what we like to be.
Right.
We do a lot for the community behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We spearhead the Beds for Kids, the Beds for Kids program. We don't realize how many kids don't have a bed.
Yeah.
And when we hear about it through the Hope and Cope Center, we provide them with a bed, a mattress, bed in a bag, the linen, what
Yeah.
have you. And we go from there.
Yeah.
We don't realize how many people sleep together because they have to,
Right.
not because they want to.
Right.
But we do a lot of other things too. I mean, a lot of our focus is on the kids.
Yeah.
A lot of our focus is on the kids.
Yeah. And that's
where it should be.
that's where it should be. You're exactly right. That's our future, and it's. I know it's still hard for me to imagine. Not, of course. Growing up, that was something. And you look on it now at the age that I am, and you take for granted the comforts of life that we've always had, that we've really never had to do without. But you look at, there's people out there that you don't. We know that they're there, and a lot of times we're all guilty of a lot of times turning a blind eye to it.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a club like Rotary that does this for the community.
Yeah, a lot of times we sit back and say, well, we can't do anything. Well, we really can.
Right.
Whether it's donating to a food pantry or providing the clothes that's going to be thrown away, and that's what we do. We throw away things.
Yes, we do.
Donating them, putting them into a closet, for somebody else to take and utilize. There's 2 homeless communities here in town.
Yeah.
And they're very quiet. Unless you know where they're at,
Right.
you don't see them.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that barely have make ends meet, and it just makes it a little easier for their life um, if we do provide.
Yeah, and it's like we were talking about before with the stars and with PTSD, and this is another thing. People are afraid to reach out, and afraid to ask for help. And when there's help there, for everybody, and food pantries and homeless shelters, and I think that's something we don't really realize here in Princeton. The homeless community that we have here in Princeton. And you look at the times that we're living in too. That attributes a lot to it.
It does. We like to look at ourselves in our own little cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
We're safe there. We don't want to bother anybody. Well, it's not really a bother.
Right.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people that want to help, and they're just. I know I'm guilty of it. That you want to help, but you're afraid to step on toes. You don't want to.
You're right.
Make someone mad, and it's not all the time about that. It's stepping out of your comfort zone, and maybe, in other terms, inconveniencing yourself.
Yeah. Outreach is important.
Yeah.
Outreach is important. I mean, to take and do a mission doesn't necessarily mean you have to take and go overseas.
No, there's a ripe mission field right here at home, and I've said that for years. And our communities are struggling because when you turn on the news, what you see is foreign countries. And believe me, I know America is a very rich country, and we're very blessed with what we've had and what we still have, and rightfully so. That's why the comparison to what's happening overseas, but we have that same thing happening here, and the focus is really not put on that a lot. And like I said, there's a ripe mission field here in our community, whatever community you may be living in, watching this video this morning. To go out and serve and do and get involved in these clubs like Rotary and search out the homeless shelters.
Just walking up and smiling and saying hi.
I know.
Just interfacing with people, just make the day.
Yeah.
Make the day a little bit easier.
I know. That's something I've always said of myself, is that I sometimes think that, I don't know if this is contradictory, is that I probably tend to come across sometimes as too nice. I don't know if that's because I want everybody to feel comfortable and be loved, and just to get along, and I don't see why people just can't get along. We've all got differences. We know we're all different. Just put them aside and just love one another. I don't
accept one another.
And I don't see why that is so hard for people to grasp. Never have.
You're right. Well, big thing comes down to the 2010 census. It showed, one of the census questions was, what church do you go to? Well, it showed that 70% of the people went to a church.
Right.
And 30% didn't.
Right.
Well, that's flipped since COVID, and actually become a little bit worse since COVID.
Right.
So now 30% of people go to church, and 70% don't.
Right.
And the Lord is the basis of everything.
Yeah, He
and
is.
we forget that.
That was something I gave a sermon this past Sunday, and of course I know it seems like a lot of the times during the times that we live in that churches, of course I know when I grew up, we were in church on Sunday mornings and Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, and it was just without a doubt. That's where Bible school came up. That's where we were at. And now, and not all churches are like this. Don't get me wrong, but churches are treated like a club, and but we can go. We can have church here in this building. We're kind of having church this morning a little bit.
Amen.
And but we can go, is what I said this Sunday, we can go down to the city dump and have church there. It's wherever His believers are is where Christ is going to be.
That's right.
So,
your actions totally reflect Christ.
You're exactly right, and I think it's lost in the world that we live in. And I know Christ. He lost his temper, when he, when they were selling in the temple. So, and, but we're called to love and to care, and wherever you can care. It's just like again with Mr. Brunelle taking his time to cut the stars out, and he doesn't do that for recognition. He does it for remembrance, to remember our fallen, or remember our veterans, and to save history. And with what he does with him and his wife serving in Rotary, and it's all about where you serve. It can be anywhere, work or school. It doesn't matter where it is. You can serve and serve in your community. It can just, is like you were saying, just smile at somebody.
We touch everybody.
Yeah, and
people don't realize how much of an influence you are.
Yeah.
Nowadays, an influencer, that's a big buzzword.
Yeah, it is.
And companies pay for for that influencer. Well, yeah, I love to think that I'm an influencer too.
Yeah.
An influencer for Christ.
Right, and that's the way it should be. And everywhere you are, I mean, we're all disciples wherever we're at. So, and I know we're kind of going to shift gears, take a hard right here. But I know we were talking before about the internet initiative.
Yes.
Give us a little update on what's going on there.
Tuesday, this past week, City Council approved the ability to put free Wi-Fi out on Main Street as well as the city parks and the shopping center here on 62. Now, what that'll do is it'll give anybody the ability to catch the internet or get on the internet, no charge.
Right.
And sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
We take for granted here in town, the internet. We've got it. It's fairly fast. But you go out in the country,
You don't.
Right. You've got no internet.
Right.
And if you've got a phone, you're lucky to have a hotspot if you can get that. Well, T-Mobile is providing the 5G for the Main Street project. They also have another initiative. It's called Project 10 Million. And if you get a subsidized lunch, which everybody in the community does, you qualify.
Yeah.
All we have to do is apply for it, and the child can get a hotspot, which would give them 100 gig of data for 5 years.
Right.
Free. No strings attached. They can do anything they choose to with it, but 100 gig is all you're going to get for that year.
Right.
If you stream movies, you're not going to have
as much right.
time on it.
Right.
Now, where does this come into play? You go to school, and even if school is in full session, you need to do homework.
Yeah, exactly
and
right.
And that homework is going to be researched, and that research is on the net, or at the library. Well, out in the country, you can't do that.
Right.
And it's not as easy to take and get to the city sometimes. So Project 10 Million is underway, and hopefully, the students will be receiving something at school to identify that they're eligible, and hopefully there'll be follow through with it.
Right.
There's no reason why each household can't get.
Right.
Each household that's eligible can't get a hotspot.
I know, and that's of course, we didn't have to deal with the internet growing up, thankfully. And we had to go to the library and do our research and, suffer the hard way, I guess. But it's the internet is everybody has to have it nowadays. I mean, especially
right.
our students, and especially again the times that we live in with so many kids being homeschooled and so many parents working from home. It's the internet is as necessary as electricity.
It's a
and
vital resource.
It is, and so I think this is great. I know to have it downtown at our small rural community like ours to have.
We are first in Western New York, or Western Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
We're the second in the state of Kentucky. We're pioneers.
Yeah.
We're pioneers.
Yeah.
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 And it should be this way.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be, and it's just like we're coming to you this morning on the internet, and it's amazing how technology has changed from when I was a kid. I know from when you were a kid, and it's it's part of life though. Everything changes.
Well, it does, and sometimes not for the better, but
We learn to adapt.
We do adapt. We do adapt. But we are a throwaway society.
Yeah.
And one thing we have to remember that what we throw away can be reused by somebody else.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, and that takes us back to our stars, and so we did a full circle there. And but Mr. Brunelle, we want to, thank you. I want to personally thank you for your service and what you do for the community, what you and your wife both do for the community, and what you do with Rotary, and thank our Rotary Club for what they do for our community. And we certainly thank you for coming in this morning, taking the time out of your day to speak with us.
I was glad to take and get out there and let people know there are things going on behind the scenes that most people don't notice.
Yeah. Ms. Brunelle, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hopefully we can catch up with you again sometime soon, and maybe next time have Miss Pam come on with us and talk and maybe get more in depth with Rotary Club.
That'd be great.
All right.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, guys, thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll be back again next week with another Breakfast with the Banner, and next week planning on talking about the upcoming Ghost Walk. So be sure to tune in, and I hope everybody has a very blessed day.